Freakonomics by Danielle Robinson. How does reading exemplify the social science discipline? The reading exemplifies the social science because it is about society and the relationships among individuals. The exact social science subfield is economics, as mentioned plenty times in the reading, and also evidence-based experiences, meaning not relying on a personal opinion on a social issue, because doing so can increase misconceptions and stigma of vulnerable groups. Economics. The study of economics is the relationship between incentives and economics, meaning, let's say for instance, how now is the time for giving and I'm all for spreading the love. And recently I donated to Habitat for Humanity and I got a pie for my choice. The reason I'm sure I donated to them and not someone else was because I was also getting something in return from the company. My central question is, how often does one's morals go out of the window when the price is right? I chose this as my central question because there are many times people will do something that they may view as wrong or bad, and given some circumstances may not ever do it until doing so benefits them in either the short or the long run. An incentive can be the feather that breaks the camel's back in any given circumstance, and the reading shows how giving an incentive can change a person's mind or way of actions, because after all, incentives are the cornerstone of modern life. For instance, on page 17, the daycare providers thought that by enacting a late fee whenever a child was picked up late would decrease the amount of occurrences of late pickups, but in fact the occurrences went up. The parents knew it was wrong to be late, but since they were going to be charged for it, why not take their sweet time, right? The parents get more time to do what they want to do at a cost of $3 extra, but the daycare provider has to watch the children longer for the same price. Seems unfair, right? But that's just how the world works. Are your morals good enough? I found this picture funny. I've seen it on Facebook and Instagram and a bunch of places. And it's pretty much saying, will you step on the dog for $18 million? And this is right up the alley of what the book was talking about, saying how when the circumstance is right, $18 million to step on the puppy. It doesn't say you have to kill the puppy. It doesn't say you actually have to hurt the puppy. You can just tap its head slightly, maybe step on its tail or its foot or something, and the puppy still wouldn't be hurt in a way that it can't come back from it. My answer to the central question: how does the central question that I chose is answered by the reading? And on page 9, in regards to campaign spending, people are more likely to give money to the candidate in one of two situations. They believe the money will influence the outcome on a close race, or the candidate is a sure winner and one would like to bask in reflected glory or receive some future inclined consideration. The incentive here is personal gain. You didn't give the money away because you knew it would be helpful to that specific person, but because you were pushing your own agenda. On another note, I'm sure we all know someone who smokes cigarettes. Most people are against terrorism, and it is said that terrorists raise money by selling black market cigarettes. Which one, with which one who is against terrorism would clearly not buy these cigarettes? But the fix or the release of stress that comes with buying the pack of cigarettes and smoking them outweighs your morale of this maybe supporting terrorist groups. But then you say, well, maybe this pack isn't, but it might be. Stealing. Stealing is considered cheating the game. The time is 2017. Times are rough, and you're on your fifth double for this week. You do this job because it pays the bills and the hours are somewhat flexible. You're a waitress. You make $6.50 an hour, but your tips are what keeps you coming. They're shared tips. You don't believe in stealing because it's wrong and you were raised against it. The restaurant policy is that all of the tips are added together and divided by the number of hours you've worked. Of the whole of you worked. And you know you've worked the most hours, and Christmas is right around the corner, and little Bobby wants an Xbox for Christmas. He's a good kid and does very well in school, and he feels he deserves the game system and 2 games. As the day gets closer, you notice that you're $60 short of getting the gift for Josh or Billy. And then you think, well, these are technically my tips. The customer gave these to me, seeing how I was the only waitress serving them. So you pocket the tips, but not all of them, from the table. You take just enough tips from each of your tables to cover the $60 difference for your son's gift. And you ignore the fact and you justify the fact by saying, I earned these and they are mine, even though you know the company's policy. The incentive here is seeing your son happy with the gifts outweigh the morale of you stealing, and you don't feel not 1 ounce of guilt about it. How much was your morality worth? In any of these scenarios, would you have done what these people have done? Yes or no? I believe that most people would have put their moral beliefs aside if the incentive was worth more than the bad they have done, no matter who they are or claim to be. Life outside this course. How is the answer to the central question essential to life outside this course? I think it's actually important for people to self-reflect on things that they have justified because there was an incentive in place. People are misleading most times, and numbers can also be misleading. Oftentimes, correlations present themselves and people take off running with them, but they don't understand the whole of the numbers. The text as a whole is a breakdown of the wall of morality and incentives. And I believe this is a great wall to break down because, in all honesty, if presented with the right incentive, I believe even the most holy person will bend in temptation.